Okay, I'm online. So first, I'm going to boot up my game, as usual. And then I'm going to put out the call. Pretty simple. Pretty straightforward. Now, I suppose normally I would just have the game booted up by now, but at this point I expect to have any viewers, so it doesn't really matter to me. Also, I probably should actually leave my microphone a little bit closer to me than that, but whatever. That should be enough to hear me. So last time I was just trying to grind up some cash and equip my Zoids with weapons and such. And that's kind of what I'm going to do for the first half hour, or at least up until I have anyone join my live stream. Otherwise, there's just not really any. Doesn't really matter to me. Doesn't really matter. Also, I might be able to look at. Oh, okay, that was fast. I'm not even playing it. Yeah, of course, you joined right away. Okay, hi. I mean, not that's an unwelcome surprise. It is very much welcome. I just expect to have a little bit more time to get myself situated. But hey, that's on me. I totally should have got myself set up before I. And also, I'm responsible for if my headphones fall and you can't hear me. That's also my fault. How are you doing? I also need to. I know. I didn't expect you to respond to it right away. Wow. That's some Amazon delivery service right there. All right. So, actually, maybe I'll just leave the video off for now. Maybe I'll go back to doing that later. Oh, that's not what I'm going to do. I do still want to watch this. Or listen to it, at least.
We are gardeners.
Oh.
We are
farmers. I just realized I can't listen to it because I have my headphones.
Safe like repair, safe like replace.
Ooh.
I might still end up putting on a video. Yeah, well, that's kind of typical, isn't it? I mean, same here. My eczema is flaring up something fierce. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with my love of sugar. But what am I supposed to do? I love sugar. I also need to add a new pilot too. Actually, no. All I have is 5 pilots. I don't think Moonmaid's one of them. Yeah. That suits me just fine. I mean, she's not a very good pilot anyways. And at this point, everyone else is skilled enough for it to kind of not matter. So I should see if there's anything else I can buy here that I need. I'd still like to do some upgrading, but yeah, that's all I have left for. It kind of is what it is. Yeah, I try to keep my desserts either the following, which is anything like ice cream or anything with less sugar, only have on days that I work out, or maybe if I've been at work all day. Otherwise, it's a mix of cereal or granola and fruit. But If the worst part of your diet is desserts, if you're like eating plenty of greens, enough protein, working out, you're kind of getting ahead in life, man. It's not financially, at least health-wise. Also, did you just come in and leave more than once? Because I've seen 2 views. Just asking. I'm just confused why I have 2 views, but only they're here. Only one can do it. Oh, it's an ambush. I need to see if I can find that Mangler meme. No, it's not even around. They want me to meme out of it. Maybe someone just looked at it for 2 seconds, decided the string wasn't for them. Karen? It's not in here. Karen? Okay, so I guess I'll just take out one target at a time. Boom. Actually, I wonder if I could have fled. And I'm trying to train up a Stealth Viper because it gets boring using the same Zoids. And then part of what makes Zoids so appealing is being able to use any type of Zoid as long as it's in the game. But I'm so disappointed that Heldy Gunner is not in the game. I love Heldy Gunner. Also, they haven't made any further announcements regarding the Heldy Gunner that was part of the RMZ line, or supposed to be, supposedly. Which I guess makes sense. Probably not the... Oh! Oh, man. I might need to add some, like, anti-laser armor. Maybe I need to do that. Yeah, I definitely need to add some to Stealth Viper. Sooner rather than later. Or not, this will be a close shot. If it hits. Let's see if I can get any anti-laser armor here. Okay. Anti-air missiles. Anti-air laser. But no anti-laser equipment. Good thing those are probably not actual saber tigers. Program armor. Spread shield. I guess since we're heavy mill plane. Smoke screen. Well, that doesn't do me any good either. I might end up actually... this might end up being for nothing. I might end up having to go all the way back to one of the earlier areas in the game. Sucks to be me, I suppose. Wow, he actually does that. You shall not escape. Oh, nope. Okay, so that should keep the headphones in. I mean, the microphone in, but not the headphones, because the headphones are fucking uncomfortable. My fault. I should have not done something. This is starting to get a little bit boring. I mean, not boring, but repetitive? Yeah. Darn, what happened to my history? There we go.
Let's see what you...
Geico helps tailor your coverage to fit your business and bottom line. So, Greg, how good does it feel to save on your commercial? Geico helps tailor your coverage.
Really, dude?
And bottom line. So, Greg,
Twice in a row? I am not switching insurance, Geico. I like geckos, but not that much. If you keep doing that, I'm going to deport you, well, along with the other geckos that Garrett Fisher's been catching. I see that bullshit. I got the same ad twice in a row. I mean, how's that even legitimate? That's harassment, man.
Assassin hesitates, then swings. Dooku catches the baton under one arm, spins inside the arc, then slams a fist into the man's throat.
Geico helps tailor your coverage to fit your business and bottom line. So, Greg, how good does it feel to save on your commercial?
Are you saying my striping's not good enough?
Count Dooku saved Qui-Gon on that.
I need your insurance?
Explore the depths of it in the video. Sereno. Darkness writhes at the edge of Count Dooku's consciousness. He sits alone in the high towers of his homeworld, bathed in the golden light of its setting suns. His mind is elsewhere, drawn again into that place. It begins as it always does. Flickers of soundless battle, blurred by heat and sweat, until clarity strikes like lightning. Qui-Gon. He sees him in a circular chamber of plasma bridges, breathing hard, lost in a feral primal dance with a horned shadow. The red-bladed thing moves like a flame. Darth Maul. Qui-Gon parries left, spins, but it's always too late. The blade drives into his stomach. He crumples, and Dooku's eyes open with a jolt every time. But now the visions change. They grow stronger, sharper. They no longer feel like omens. They feel like alerts. He senses the moment is near. He stands, one hand calling for his saber, the other pulling his cloak over his shoulders with the Force. He does not wait for permission. He does not call to inform the Council. He follows the Force, letting him pull him across the stars like a tether. He enters his ship and sits next to the navigator. Without a word, he begins plugging in coordinates to one location. Naboo. Obi-Wan sprints down the corridor, the ray shields activating at his back. Ahead, Qui-Gon bursts to his feet. Maul strikes. The duel resumes. It is fast, brutal. Maul finds an opening. He drives his hilt into Qui-Gon's chin and stuns him, blade level to kill, but it stops. Mid-air, Maul's weapon jerks, suspended an inch from Qui-Gon's chest. Another blade comes down as he is met by Count Dooku. Maul barely has time to react. Qui-Gon's eyes snap open.
Okay, I have a third view. Oh, that's you.
Charges in from behind. 3 blades ignite. 1 dark warrior. Dooku descends in calm, deliberate.
I didn't even know you even left. I'm telling you, dude, I got 3 Geico ads in a row. How is that not harassment? I'm not kidding. 3 Geico ads. I'm just trying to listen to a video, dude. I have Kirk. I think it's Allstate. And I'm not switching. I don't think there's any junk parts to be had, but oh well. Here, let's see you try to avoid that.
Steps. Maul attacks in rage, spinning, snarling, carving arcs of red energy, but he's outmatched, outnumbered. They strike in harmony. Obi-Wan's speed, Qui-Gon's strength, and Dooku's elegant precision. Maul stumbles. Dooku's saber disarms him. Obi-Wan finishes it, his blue blade driving across Maul's midsection in a single clean slash. The Sith tumbles down the pit. The 3 Jedi stand where 2 should have fallen. Dooku gazes down the tube, disturbed. Qui-Gon touches the burn on the stomach of his robe, then turns to his older mentor, eyes filled with awe and suspicion. You saw it. Dooku nods slowly. Arcadia.
Got posted.
Over again. The Force screamed.
Welcome.
He keeps his eyes fixed on the pit.
As for you, little bug.
And now, the darkness will scream louder still. The sun sets behind the...
I gave him a chance to leave.
Casting long golden shadows across the plaza. The celebration has ebbed to a quieter rhythm. Streamers drifting.
I gave that bug a chance to leave. But no. Wanted to be a tough bug. I just realized it says there's only 1 concurrent viewer, so I'm wondering if... Well, that's weird. Well, if there is another viewer, they can always say hi and confirm they're here. If not, I'll just carry on. Also, having to go through this cave anytime I reach the rest of the game area is annoying. And whoever designed the game this way, you know who you are. And it's not very nice. Ha! Serves you right! Stupid bat.
Children chasing music that has already ended. Soldiers disband. Diplomats withdraw. The war drums have gone silent. In the distance, Queen Amidala poses for one last holocapture with Boss Nass. Behind them, Anakin stands uncertain, caught between awe and confusion. Obi-Wan walks near, deep in private thought. But higher above, the crowd, on a marble terrace overlooking the city, two Jedi remain apart. Qui-Gon Jinn leans quietly against the carved stone railing. Behind him stands his old master, Count Dooku, arms folded, cloak trailing in the soft breeze.
I hate
The
these.
2026 Chevy Equinox is ready for your daily drives,
Okay.
weekend getaways, and everything in between. Plenty
Fine.
of cargo space, plus a big touchscreen that keeps all your
See how you like that.
It's more than an SUV.
I am not buying an SUV.
Together, let's drive.
Ever. I hate SUVs. Well, most of them.
The silence between them is familiar, familial. Finally, Dooku breaks that silence. He was a Sith. There is no doubt in my mind. And yet the Council will not speak the name. Qui-Gon turns, searching his master's face. They fear what it means. Dooku's voice sharpens. Not angry, but edged with cold truth. They fear acknowledging their blindness. Speeder glides below. The horns of the parade sound once more, distance, fading. I've studied ancient texts they dismiss as myth. I've seen holocrons they won't even admit exist. The Sith did not vanish. They went deeper, more cunning, more patient. Qui-Gon doesn't argue. He watches the children below, playing Jedi with wooden sticks and smiles. And why save me? Because you would not wait for permission to see.
If you mean by discard, you mean throw away in the trash? Absolutely not. And quite frankly, that's not up to your employer. If on the other hand it means putting them in storage, that's a whole nother thing. But no, your work's as a therapist. No, you don't throw it away. And I can't think of any therapist who would actually recommend you do that. I mean, unless you have the type of personality trait where you feel that you have to throw them away to reach, unless you need finality, you know? Otherwise, I would not throw them away. Plus, they're on the website you use, you have 9 days to pay for shipping. So you're wondering if you should cancel the orders. Are you? No, never throw away. That it shouldn't even be a possibility because a lot of these units, they're not replaceable. I've seen a lot of the original Tomy Zoids that you have. Those are not replaceable. And they might never be reissued because right now, Takara Tomy is trending away from reissues and more towards redesigns, which is great. Except all those Tomy and Hasbro Zoids that you have, they're never going to be recreated. And even though the designs might be inferior to the today's designs, they're still classics. They still have value. But if you're wondering whether or not what you should do is keep the orders that you placed or cancel them. Right now, what you need to do is ask yourself: are you financially stable enough to take responsibility for them? Because right now, I'm not ordering any Zoids because my financial priorities are elsewhere and they're very limited. Now, does this mean I'm going to miss out on releases that I would have liked to have? I mean, I would have loved to buy an HMM Conic Wolf Heavy Arms. And unless they're reissued, there's a very good chance I'm never going to get one. I've accepted that. I can live with that. There's many Zoids that I would like to have in my collection that I don't have and might never have. I've decided it's not worth it for me to be concerned about it. I mean, you've grown your collection in a very short amount of time. That's something to be proud of. And there's nothing wrong taking a break. A lot of Zoiders have taken breaks. So, if you're wondering if you should consolidate what you have and nothing more, that's not a bad idea. The problem is that you've turned your hobby into a chore. Okay, new message. Okay, so now it's where can I fit all these? If it's not a money issue so much as where the heck are you gonna fit all this stuff? Yeah, I can't help you there. I have no idea. You only have so much space. Well, it also depends if you have more space for another shelf or display cabinet. I mean, I've seen your collection. A lot of them are definitely worth having display cabinets for, so they don't get dusty and they remain in better condition. But you're gonna have to decide where you want to prioritize: growing your numbers or consolidating what you have. And it seems to me that another idea is that most of the stress seems to come from most of the stress comes from the business side of your hobby, not from ordering it and not from collecting. Yeah, so it seems to me you've already decided what you want to do. And if you can find a nice display cabinet with a glass display to protect them and clean off all that dust, yeah, you can fit. Then your priority should be maintain the current level you have, now that you're no longer overdoing it, if that's the case. But it's not what you have, it's It's what you work with, what you have. And it's not just resources, it's also your own personality. If there's one thing I've learned, is that you're going to be far more happy and a lot less stressed out if you work with your own personality and works for you. Not overdoing it, not getting yourself overwhelmed. And you're excited about that. Repairs, customs, hopefully giving all those dusty Zoids some TLC. And in the long term, that might pay off. Maybe you'll have a lot less customers, but what few you do have will appreciate them being cleaned up. And I'm pretty sure that some people also have printers for decals, so you can replace the ones that are dusty. That can look cool. Plus, if anyone wants any of your used Zoids, they might appreciate. Oh, I just remembered, I forgot my water. They might appreciate their Zoid coming with a brand new decal sheet. Just food for thought. You don't have to do it. Also, I'm under the impression you would do better as a type of quality over quantity type of guy. So that's something else to think about. Not completely discontinuing what you do, but keeping it scaled back, keeping it manageable. If you only have time to build one Zoid every couple months or ship out one Zoid every couple months, that's what you do. That way your work and your hobby don't interfere with one another or life in general. And that way we don't hear any more of this nonsense about you leaving the hobby. I mean, I don't actively build any Zoids. I haven't for, gosh, it must have been at least over a year since last time I built a Zoid. Might actually be more than that. It might be more like 3 or 4 years. That doesn't mean I've completely quit the hobby per se. I just think of it as being more like on hold. And I kind of decided that I'm probably not going to resume it until I figured out what I'm going to do for long-term employment. And I'm fine with that. It's allowed me, give me the capability of being able to pursue other things. I would not have time to do these live streams or to draw if I actively built Zoids. I probably would not be able to travel if I actively collected. Yeah, same thing goes for mine. I have a few. A Darkhorn, an Aerosaur that I might or might not build. A Death Stinger Tony that I might end up selling for an HMM Death Stinger, which are objectively better. at least in my opinion, or selling and then using the money, because those are worth, they become worth a lot. And it's new in box, so I can get a lot of money for that one. What else do I have? Oh, I also have an Iguan. I have an HMM Iguan. I really want to recolor that in the Dark Army colors. But in order to do that, I would definitely need a paint sprayer, which I don't have. And my mom does not, said she does not want me to get. I get it. It sprays chemicals that you should not breathe in. I get that it's kind of dangerous. You also need like a respirator mask when using it. So I get it. I mean, it's quite possible that any Zoids I think would look better in another color. Obviously, I'm not going to be recoloring my HMM Darkhorn because, let's face it, you're not going to get a better color scheme than what you have. And I don't need a paint sprayer to detail that one. Although it would be kind of cool to like mask it and try to do the stripes. Something like the stripes that appears on the Redhorn HMM. So maybe it's not exactly a bad thing to keep it in the box. Actually, I forget. Okay, so we know that Redhorn HMM has those white bands. Yeah, like that. But what about Darkhorn? Was he ever depicted with it? Surprisingly, that is surprisingly not the case. I am shocked. I am very, very shocked. I thought for sure that they would give him those. Oh, I see, because that's where they want to put the registry mark. Well, I'm also kind of surprised they didn't even give it to, Actually, it looks like those might actually come as decals. I mean, at the very least, I guess it must not be very difficult to do, since most people who build them put their stripes on there. Also, wow, I can't believe someone actually 3D printed a Redhorn. Wow. I mean, at this rate, well, this should be interesting because I'm sure the model kit company are not going to be happy about that. But yeah, as long as you have the specs, that means that maybe the days where molds are lost or designs are lost might become a thing of the past. But we still have to support these companies because they're the ones who pay the designers to come up with these designs. But if they ever become out of print, then that's when they become fair game. That or for printing repair parts. Not that I wouldn't buy replacement parts if offered. Only if I break them. Obviously, if it's a defect and the parts are not included, that's a whole nother issue. Let's see how I can best shoot these bats down. Okay, I'll take it. 72 is not bad. Man, these bats sure are in Driving me batty. Yeah. Keep dodging, you stupid spawn of Satan.
Truth. He looks directly at him now, the stern look melting away as he makes a plea to his only real friend left in the Order. I trained you to question doctrine, and yet I feared you would die because of it. Qui-Gon straightens, his expression concerned for the answers he may receive here. And now, Dooku exhales slowly, gazing back over the city. Now I see you've grown beyond needing me. The two share a silence as they turn back to the domed city, preparing for a night of celebration. The sun dips lower. Be careful, Qui-Gon. The Sith are moving. The Jedi will become pawns, soldiers in a game they don't understand. There are a great many things I wish to tell you, but now is not the time. Qui-Gon tilts his head. What will you do? I don't know, but I will not play that game. A pawn doesn't always know they're a pawn, but once they do, they may choose to remove themselves from the board. He steps back from the railing. If war is coming, prepare, Anakin. Train him well. The boy may be more important than you realize. Qui-Gon nods, the weight of prophecy still heavy on his shoulders. We'll meet again, Master. Dooku's cloak catches the wind as he turns away. Yes, but on which side of history, I wonder? In the Jedi Temple, high above Coruscant, a storm shimmers behind the transparent steel windows. Yoda's eyes close. A second Sith. Always two. There are. Mace Windu's brow furrows. Then where is the Master? The circle of Jedi sits still. Contemplation is all they have, it seems, until another move is made. In the days that come, Obi-Wan kneels before the council, his wounds from Naboo still fresh. The room is solemn, proud. By the right of the council, and by the will of the Force. Qui-Gon watches from behind, his hands folded, distant but proud, as his apprentice is knighted. In his chambers, Qui-Gon kneels before young Anakin Skywalker. He places a hand on the boy's shoulder. You will be my apprentice.
Not strong enough.
And I will teach you to listen to the living Force. Anakin blinks, a moment of childlike wonder. Behind him, Obi-Wan lingers at the door, watching, unsure. Dooku stands alone beneath the hollow glow of forbidden texts in the Jedi archives. Jocasta Nu watches him carefully from a distance. He closes one of the books. They would rather blind themselves than face the storm. He turns, cloak sweeping behind him. He walks out, not just from the library, but from the temple and the Order. In the deepest hour of night, Darth Sidious, still cloaked in his mask as Palpatine, stands at a window overlooking Coruscant. The light stretches like veins across a sleeping city. He watches as the small Jedi transport lifts into the stars. Dooku's signature vanishing. An invitation declined. Another apprentice lost. So, you choose exile over power. No matter. There are always others. He turns back to the shadow, his hands hovering over a datapad, once again changing the credentials of one Saga DS. Maikito, the ice city of Brightfall. Years later. Blinding wind howls between the spires of crystal and metal. The skyline gleams beneath cloud-split moons, harsh, beautiful, and cold. Inside a sleek, high-rise suite overlooking the frozen skyline, Count Dooku sips from a tall glass, watching snowfall slide down the transparent steel. His beard is longer now, flecked with white. His cloak is trimmed in gray. Not Jedi robes, not Sith black either. It is dark charcoal, lined with pale fur from an exotic Serenoan wolf. He speaks softly, and no one dares interrupt him. His presence commands attention. Behind him, a polished conference room waits. Diplomats, defectors, and disillusioned Jedi gather around a circular table. Maps flicker. War lines shift. The meeting is near its end. Within the holographic projection, zones of conflict across the mid-rim and expansion region. Names and systems unfamiliar to the average citizen, but bleeding just the same.
The Jedi call this a time of rising darkness, but I see nothing rising. I see collapse.
1,000 Jedi. Not one can prevent the siege of Orvaxis. Where were they then?
Training new generals, not peacekeepers anymore.
Soldiers. The robed Jedi speaks last from beneath his hood. A clear sense of disgust in his tone as he keeps his eye line fixed upon the map.
They train children for war now.
The wind howls beyond the glass. Dooku rises from his seat as the last holomap fades into static blue. All eyes turn to him. He speaks with measured grace, but his voice carries.
You've all seen it. The cracks in the Republic widening. The Jedi, once guardians of balance, reduced to knights of bureaucracy. Soldiers, enforcers of a dying Senate's wheel.
He pauses, letting silence bite like the chill outside.
They call me a traitor, a radical, a terrorist.
He begins to walk slowly around the room, cloak trailing behind him like a shadow.
But I have betrayed no one. I have remained loyal to the truth.
He gestures outward to the frost-rimmed skyline.
The Republic is no longer a body of unity. It is a corpse, propped up by banking guilds and fear, shuffling forward only because its masters have refused to let that which is dying die in peace. And the Jedi, blind, change rules forged in an era they no longer understand. They feel the tremors beneath their temple, yet call them echoes. They sense the coming storm, yet choose silence.
He turns to face them fully now, face lit by the cold light of the room, beard silvered, eyes sharp as a saber's edge.
I offer another way. Not the chaos of the Separatists, not the corruption of the Senate, not the rigid doctrine of the Jedi, but a third path. The true unification of three systems, a brotherhood of unbound force sensitives and unified thinkers. A future where the Force will not serve governments, but the galaxy.
He lifts one hand, palm open as if reaching to a fallen comrade.
I do not ask for loyalty, only for courage, to see clearly, to stand apart. And when the Republic crumbles, as it must, you will not be its model. You will be standing on the foundation of what comes next.
He lowers his hand and takes his seat once more. Silence fills the room, heavy and electric. It is a compelling speech, with most of those in attendance leaving with much to consider. The doors to the suite hiss shut behind the last guest. The wind keens beyond the frost-laced window. Dooku remains seated, eyes closed, fingertips steepled. A subtle shift in air pressure. Creak of the ceiling panel above the decorative arch. He speaks without turning.
I do not believe you were on the guest list.
Two assassins drop silently, one from
Yeah.
above, the other through the shadows behind him.
I'm gonna have to go back to one of the earlier locations.
Smooth as obsidian,
Unless-
insignia. Their movements are synchronized, silent, fluid, lethal. The first lunges with twin vibroblades. Dooku pushes off his chair with a burst of force, flipping backward as the blades slash the air where his throat was. He lands light as air, robes swirling. A twist of the hand, the chair launches across the room, slamming into the second attacker mid-charge, cracking his chest plate.
I think there's one more
The
town in
first
this
assassin
area.
recovers instantly, spitting with a strike meant for the kidneys. Dooku sidesteps, intercepts the wrist with his forearm, and in the same breath, strikes a nerve cluster at the base of the neck with a precise knife hand blow. The blade falls from the assassin's hand. He stumbles. The second assassin is up, barely. He charges, pulling a shock baton from his back. Dooku smiles. The lights dim. They don't flicker from damage. He dims them with the Force.
Let's see what you can do in the dark.
The assassin hesitates, then swings. Dooku catches the baton under one arm, spins inside the arc, and slams a fist into the man's throat. Then a perfect elbow strike to the temple. As the body slumps, Dooku twists and hurls him with the Force through the glass hollow projection wall into the window. The transparent steel fractures but doesn't break. The assassin slides down unconscious. A smear of breath fogs on the cold surface.
Serves you
The
right.
first one tries to flee. Dooku moves like a ghost. He grabs the fleeing man's shoulder and drives a knee in the back of the leg, collapsing him. As the attacker spins to slash with a hidden wrist blade, Dooku catches the blade barehanded between two fingers, immobilizing it with terrifying calm. Abatur. A pulse of energy blasts from his hand into the man's chest. A controlled force shock, enough to stop a heart, then restart it. The body convulses, then slumps. Alive. Barely. Dooku stands alone in a ruined suite. One chair broken, a window webbed with fractures, two bodies at his feet. He smooths his collar, breathes once, and leans into the communicator on the assassin's chest.
Sidious. Next time, send professionals.
I didn't mean this to happen.
Several more.
Raven? What a coincidence, running into you. I've already been deceived by you once before. Uh-oh. So tell me, what are you planning this time? Yeah, he's too smart for you. Why are you suddenly so interested in me? I was just curious. I don't really have any interest in someone like you. But having to deal with you buzzing around me, it annoys me. So what are you going to do? I'll end you. Right here, right now. You will die too. Humph, running away. Smart choice. Seems like that was Raven and Flan just now. Are the two of them working together? Oh, what do you think? Yeah, working together. It's definitely normal practice to launch a charged particle beam at your partner. I can't say for sure. Did you not just see what just happened? It looked as if they were fighting. Oh, Captain Jack is Captain Obvious. Good observation, Jack Sparrow. But Zoid was heading towards Hagen City. What should we do, Prince? Let's go after her. If we do that, we're sure to learn something new. The Prince is right. Alright, it's settled then. Let's hurry to Hagen City. Let's not. I need to get some anti-particle armor. And anti-laser. Granted, that Raven's really not that much of a threat to me right now. Sync sensor physics unit. Maybe once I have more viewers, I'll head back towards the storyline, but for now...
Our years pass. The Republic now wages war across 100 systems with an army it did not publicly commission. In Dooku's absence, Palpatine adapts. He has no charismatic former Jedi to lead the Separatists, so he instead relies on a coalition of corporate leaders and warlords, the Techno Union, the Banking Clan, the Trade Federation, and an old militant offshoot of the Mandalorian Loyalists, all secretly united under Sidious's manipulation. Without Dooku's ideological push, the movement is more fractured and overly greedy, less revolutionary, more opportunistic. The clone troopers of Kamino, genetically bred for obedience and combat efficiency, arrive on the battlefield under the authorization of a Senate vote, pushed through after the Battle of Geonosis, where the Republic forces and Jedi clashed with a well-armored Separatist alliance. The Jedi did not request the army, but they were handed its command. The Order, stretched thin and increasingly politicized, accepted the role of generals. The Council deemed it necessary, the war inevitable. Qui-Gon Jinn did not agree, but he did not withdraw. He kept Anakin to his side not to forge a warrior, but to protect the boy from the very machine threatening to shape him. If the Republic was training children to fight, then Qui-Gon would train his to resist becoming a weapon. And so they marched through the mud and fire, not as soldiers of war, but as guardians of a dying truth. Jabim, a mid-rim war zone, torrential rain, thunder without end. Mud churns beneath Republic walkers as lightning arcs across black skies. Gunships roar overhead. The battle is ended, but not the war. Columns of clone troopers march across the ridge, securing ruined bunkers and scorched metal wreckage. Down in a collapsed trench, Qui-Gon Jinn kneels beside a wounded local, his hand on the man's chest, eyes closed, breathing steady. Anakin Skywalker, now a young man, stands nearby, cloak soaked, lightsaber scorched from overuse. He glances back over the ridge where the clones are processing prisoners. His boots are caked in mud, and his expression is sharp, watchful, older than he should be. He's gonna die, Anakin says flatly, wiping rain from his brow. Qui-Gon doesn't answer. We need to move. The Council said Jabin wasn't critical, so why are we even here? Qui-Gon gently opens his eyes, his pupils wide, zero in on the space before him. Because the Force led us here, not the Council. He places a small stone, glowing faintly on the man's chest. The rain dims for a moment around them. The wounded man exhales and goes still, at peace. Why do you always do that? Qui-Gon stands, his silhouette cutting a calm line against the chaos. Do what? Act like you know better than everyone else. Qui-Gon studies him, not angry, curious. I listen to the Force, not tradition, not cold instruction. That's what I want you to learn. Anakin's jaw tightens as he squints through the rain still dribbling from his brow. I hear it, sometimes, but it's not like what you describe. It's not quiet. It's loud. It pulls. Hard. Then you will learn to move with it. And what if it pulls me somewhere dark? That silences them both for a moment. The storm breaks for a breath of sun, but the clouds don't clear. Just a brief moment of warmth as Qui-Gon places a hand on Anakin's shoulder. Then I go with you. They spend the next few hours putting to rest the dying and tending to the injured, making as many last moments as peaceful as possible before making camp. Anakin sits cross-legged beside a field lantern, tinkering with a damaged comlink. His hands are quick, precise. Rain patters on the tarp above them. Qui-Gon watches the boy in silence for a moment. He breaks it with a shallow smile of amusement before speaking. You're not wrong to question me, Anakin. Or them. But don't mistake clarity for anger. Anakin frowns as he fidgets more intensely with the comlink, clearly stewing for some time. How can you not be angry? The Council ignores you. They ignore what's happening. Dooku's telling people the truth, and they just sit there and Qui-Gon raises a hand, not to scold, but to pause. Yes, Dooku speaks the truth, but not all truth leads to peace. Anakin looks up from his tools, near sheepishly. He saved your life. Qui-Gon nods slowly, a look of deep contemplation stealing his eyeline as he looks out the flapping canvas of the tent to the flicker of combat far over the horizon. And I wonder often what would have happened if we hadn't. They share a long look, student and teacher, separated by belief, but united by something deeper. The Force will guide you.
Ooh, we got a limited OS
But your
system.
heart must remain your own.
That's gonna be
Outside,
helpful.
thunder rolls again, drowning out the sounds of war. As if a twisted mirror reflects the two, rain pelts the transparent steel windows like thrown needles. As lightning cuts the skyline in jagged flashes on Coruscant. Inside, Chancellor Palpatine paces like a man rehearsing a eulogy he intends to deliver personally, with a knife. Masamada stands in the corner, unreadable, hands tucked within his robes. Palpatine is mid-sentence, raging.
I have tried. Darkness, help me. I have tried to kill that man for years.
He spins on a heel, cloak flaring.
I offered him the galaxy. I offered him power, secrets, legions. And what does he do? He saves Qui-Gon Jinn and vanishes into the outer rim like a sanctimonious ghost.
Mos Amar opens his mouth to speak.
Don't interrupt me, Moss.
He storms over to a console, jabs it furiously. Hollow footage of Dooku on Maikito flickers into view, delivering a speech to his Council of Free Systems.
Look at him. His perfect posture, his poetic little speeches as a third path, he says, as if that makes him more than a glorified school teacher with delusions of rebellion.
He smacks the console, the image distorting as the screen spins.
I sent assassins, plural. I've launched entire wars in his direction, and still he's out there quoting philosophy and growing that ridiculous beard like he's some ancient sage instead of a traitor who should have been my blade.
He stops, hard. A long silence, then softer.
He was supposed to be the one to balance this war.
Then, what now? Palpatine exhales slowly, composes himself, straightens his robe with clinical grace.
Now I move forward. The war is underway, and it is at the very least on a schedule, if not the one I had painstakingly planned out for several decades.
He taps a new hollow, a battle feed, Jabin, mud, thunder, clones advancing, blaster fire lighting the sky. Then, Anakin, young, wide-eyed, lightsaber glowing in the storm.
The boy is raw, shaped by war, shaped by loss,
But under Qui-Gon Jinn's influence.
yes, that problem must be corrected.
He turns fully, the smile creeping across his face like oil through water.
Anakin Skywalker is not ready, but he will be. When the time comes, when the fire inside him ignites, he will burn down everything Qui-Gon tried to build.
He gazes out the window again, a god trapped in a suit of silk.
Dooku thinks he is the storm, but the real storm is a child.
Lightning flashes, thunder rolls, and Palpatine laughs. 5 years later, the galaxy burns in the open, but the real game unfolds in the shadows. The Republic and Separatists still war across stars and systems, clones and droids locked in endless attrition. The Jedi continue to command an army they never chose, their order cracking under the strain of politics, compromise, and loss. But in the spaces between battles, Count Dooku thrives. He is no longer dismissed as a disgraced Jedi or a rogue noble. His name is spoken in the war rooms of Republic intelligence with hushed urgency. Disruptions, sabotage, conversions. Entire battalions defect under mysterious terms. Strategic data vanishes. Key senators disappear and resurface days later. Changed. Dooku's war is not one of fleets. It is a war of ideas. He has become myth, wrapped in shadow, appearing at black market arms auctions, addressing neutral worlds and encrypted broadcasts, meeting with force sensitives in shadowed ruins on forgotten moons. He does not raise a banner. He does not name a capital. He builds no throne. Instead, he offers something rarer than hope. Choice. His followers call him many things. The Lost Jedi, the Count of Whispers, the Philosopher General, the man who said no. But to the Republic, he is something far more dangerous. An idea that cannot be killed. He walks untouched through chaos, flanked by rogue Jedi, ex-commanders, and spies who defect not for power, but for principle. And while the Jedi grow ever more rigid in defense of the Republic's rot, Dooku's third path becomes the place where exiles, seekers, and warriors converge.
Palpatine's assassins still hunt him. They never return. But where he fails over and over in bringing down Dooku, the Senate remains pliable. The Jedi grow brittle. But all of that is secondary now, because the one piece he needs is not yet turned. Anakin Skywalker. The boy has grown. Taller, stronger, wiser, but also more loyal than Palpatine anticipated. Not to the Republic, to Qui-Gon Jinn. And so the Chancellor shifts his approach. He doesn't challenge Qui-Gon's influence. He praises it. He's a noble teacher. One of the few who still believes in people, not politics. It's admirable, really. But difficult, isn't it? To walk in someone else's truth. He wants you to listen to the Force. But when do you get to listen to yourself? Over years, Palpatine reframes the bond between Master and Padawan. Not as strength, but as dependency. Not as trust, but as containment. As if it told you he's wrong. What would you do if he wasn't there to guide you? Perhaps that's what they fear. That without him, you'd be more than they can control. He never speaks against Qui-Gon directly. He doesn't have to. Instead, he asks questions, sows possibilities, and he lets Anakin fill in the rest. In the war's quiet moments, when orders come too late,
There we go.
when Jedi compromise peace for protocol, when Qui-Gon says, not yet, and Anakin wants to act, Palpatine's voice is already there. You could have stopped it, but you waited. Why? By the time Anakin begins to doubt, he doesn't even recognize it as doubt. It feels like clarity. Palpatine doesn't need to destroy Qui-Gon. He only needs Anakin to outgrow him. Darathos listening post. Deep mid-rim. Fogged canyons. Hollow towers. A Republic outpost once used to intercept deep space transmissions. Now semi-abandoned. Partially destroyed. And barely staffed. A shuttle cuts through the gray mist. Inside, Anakin Skywalker and Qui-Gon Jinn sit in wordless tension. Anakin wipes the condensation off the viewport. He hasn't spoken since their landing coordinates changed. Again. This doesn't make sense. Why here? Why now? Qui-Gon sits with his eyes closed in shallow meditation. He doesn't look at him. Because the Force led us here. You say that every time something doesn't add up. And yet we are always where we are needed. That's not an answer. Why would the Council send us to a broken down listening post? They didn't. They stopped guiding us the moment they let politics decide where we go. The Council didn't. Anakin cuts his gaze towards him, frustrated. You sound more like Dooku every day. Qui-Gon doesn't answer. Because in truth, Dooku has spoken to him. Many times. Carefully. Quietly. Coded transmissions. Long encrypted debates. Warnings disguised as philosophy. Qui-Gon never told the Council. He never told Anakin. But now, as they descend deeper into the cracked, silent outpost,
Nice,
he
there's
wonders
the
if he should
tech.
have. They breach the central node, a wide control room, partially shattered glass domes above, old flickering lights. And there he is, Count Dooku, standing calmly beside an open console. No guards, just an old man in a perfect cloak, as if expecting them.
You certainly took your time.
Qui-Gon doesn't ignite his saber, but Anakin does. Drop the act. What are you doing here? Dooku doesn't move.
Following the same trail I've warned you for years about.
Qui-Gon. What is he talking about? Qui-Gon doesn't answer. A look of shame telling only for a moment as he narrows his eyes toward his former master.
This station is quite active. One of many. And it isn't just broadcasting distress calls. It's mimicking Jedi code signatures, sending them to Republic commanders, directing clones to their deaths, or worse.
He glances at Anakin.
Perhaps you've lost some friends that way.
Anakin doesn't respond. His knuckles are white around his saber hilt.
Who's behind it? The same one behind all of it. The Separatists, the war, the clones, the Council's silence. All threads tied to a single hand. Sidious.
We've heard that name before. The Council dismissed it.
Because they fear what it means.
He takes a step but the final truth.
Granger offers professional-grade products, easy reordering online, and 24/7 support, helping procurement managers keep buildings running so people can keep working. Call, click, or stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
If I thought if I said it aloud, it might consume you the way it nearly consumed me. Sidious is Palpatine.
The air in the room changes. Anakin lowers his blade slightly. A look of confusion as his conversations with the Chancellor run through his head.
He hides behind the mask of democracy. He is the architect of this war. He controls both sides. And when it ends, it will not end in peace. It will end in empire.
Qui-Gon's mouth parts. His breath catches. He doesn't know what to say, but he knows it is truth. You're lying. Dooku turns his eyes on him. Sad, not angry.
And yet, part of you knows I'm not.
The glass dome shatters. A single sniper bolt screams through the air, targeting Dooku's skull. Qui-Gon's saber ignites mid-spin, catching the bolt and hurling it into the ceiling. Sniper! Across the canyon, a slender silhouette perched on a half-collapsed tower. Aura Singh, lowering her long-ranged rifle. Before anyone can move, the sidewall bursts with screaming metal and a massive form tumbling after it. Dirge, the Jedi bounty hunter, is massive, armored, and armed with chain blades and repeaters. He grabs Anakin mid-jump and hurls him across the chamber like a rag doll. Anakin recovers and lunges at Dirge. Blades clash, sparks fly. Qui-Gon redirects another sniper shot with a flick of his wrist, hurling debris with the force that blocks Singh's line of sight. Anakin charges, wild and furious, his blades hammering into Dirge's chest. Once, twice, again. Each hit pierces armor and sinew, but Dirge grabs the boy's arm mid-swing and begins to crush it with his iron grip. Anakin screams. Then, Dooku is there. A sharp jab of force lightning lashes into Dirge's exposed side, just enough to make him stumble. Qui-Gon doesn't wait. He spins low, driving a saber through the back of Dirge's knee. The limb buckles, and he doesn't fall. Dirge roars, thrashing. He hurls Anakin into a console, sending sparks and plasteel shards everywhere. He backhands Dooku into a pillar. Qui-Gon narrowly avoids a swipe from the chain blade, but Dirge's arm detaches, wriggling around on the ground like a serpent, trying to grapple his legs. They converge. Dooku lifts Dirge's right foot from the floor, telekinetically yanking it upward to destabilize him. Anakin traps his left arm, driving both hands forward, straining with all his strength to hold it in place. Qui-Gon drives his saber through Dirge's thigh again, pinning him against a wall of sparking conduits. The monster screams, but his body begins to swell, bubble, reform.
He's regenerating. We can't beat him like this.
That's when Dooku sees it. The ruptured gas line above, broken by debris in the chaos.
Hold him.
Together, they lock him in place. Three masters of the Force, focusing all their will to freeze the Jedi mid-form. Dirge thrashes, veins swell, his armor fractures under pressure. Rage and muscle boil. Dooku flicks 2 fingers. The gas valve bursts open. Qui-Gon ignites the vapor with his saber. Anakin drives the pipe downward with a burst of force. The entire chamber explodes in light as the fire jets out directly upon the monster's form. Dirge's howl is swallowed in the roar of flame. His body burned away, layers of tissue and armor boiling off in seconds. The Jedi's regenerate flesh twists, writhes, and then turns to ash. When the fire clears, all that remains is scorched durasteel, molten bone, and silence. Anakin is still breathing hard. Dirge is gone, but nothing feels finished. Singh watches the flames consume Dirge. Her rifle lowers.
Not for all the credits in a galaxy.
Then she vanishes into the mist. As the Jedi look on, Anakin steps forward to pursue. She's getting away.
Let her go. Another failed attempt to report to their master. This is why I didn't tell you before.
He looks to Qui-Gon, guilt heavy between them as he places a hand on his shoulder.
I have been hunted since the day I left, because knowing the truth makes you a target, and the closer you get to him, the more precise the blade becomes.
Qui-Gon is pale, shaken, but his eyes are locked on Dooku.
Because the moment is here. The war is nearly over. And when it ends, Palpatine will not step down. He will declare order, and the Jedi will either kneel.
He turns to Anakin.
Or burn.
Anakin's grip on his saber tightens.
I do not need you to trust me. I just need you to see it.
War maps flicker. Faces gather in the headquarters of the Third Path. Anakin Skywalker stands near a window, arms folded, uncertain. Qui-Gon Jinn watches silently. Obi-Wan Kenobi leans against a column, quiet, but listening. Dooku speaks.
I once believed this galaxy could be saved from the inside. That truth could change corrupted minds. That justice could be restored by law.
He looks down at his clasped hands.
But power does not yield to reason. It yields to exposure.
He lifts his gaze to Anakin.
And to force.
A cloaked figure, Mon Mothma, enters a restricted records vault. The stolen Third Path holokey glows in her palm. She inserts it. Encrypted files of Order 66 begin to decrypt.
Palpatine's trap lies in silence and speed. A single command to an army trained not to question. We will rip that silence open.
2 rogue clones, Commander Bray and his first captain, detach a chip extracted from a fallen clone's skull. Behind them, a medic nods grimly. They begin transmitting data to the Senate.
Proof alone is not enough. But if we reveal the mechanisms of betrayal to those already loyal to him, we can poison the root.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, back in the temple under quiet pretense, slides a crystal into an encrypted reader. Yoda watches from behind shadows. He knows this is unsanctioned. He says nothing to the Council.
We will not convince the Jedi Council, but we may reach enough Jedi to fracture their obedience.
Senators Organa and Amidala step forward beneath the dome, presenting emergency budget concerns and clone deployment irregularities. Masamada shifts in his seat, twitching. He knows what this is.
The Republic will never believe Palpatine is Sidious, unless he is forced to speak in his true voice.
Dooku steps toward the center table. He places a single black holocron on it. Sith script pulses along its edges.
Inside this is every transmission Sidious sent to the Separatist Alliance. The voice is encrypted, but the biometric signature is the Chancellor's.
If we transmit it during the Senate's emergency session,
then we'll mask him before he can act. And if he resists,
we kill him. Silence. Obi-Wan looks to his old master. And what happens if we fail? Dooku turns to the window.
Then the Jedi die. The Senate falls. And the galaxy learns only too late that balance was never a prophecy. It was a choice.
The Senate chamber stirs. Columns of repulsor lift pods glide gently into position, blue lights casting long shadows across the dome. The great central Chancellor's dais looms at the heart of the arena, sleek, gold-ringed, pristine. Chancellor Palpatine stands within it, robed in cream and crimson, hands folded before him. Calm, composed, unbothered. Above, all around him, 1,000 voices murmur. The emergency session has drawn full attention. Masamada raises his staff and slams it once.
The Senate recognizes Senator Bail Organa of Alderaan.
The pod glides forward. Bail's face is tight, unreadable.
This body convenes under Article 7.4 to address a matter of wartime accountability, specifically unauthorized clone deployments, misallocated war funds, and encrypted communication logs from facilities not recognized within the Oversight Committee.
Polite chaos ripples through the chamber. Palpatine doesn't flinch.
A clerical misinterpretation. These operations are classified under Executive Military Act 9, emergency measures approved by this very body.
A few senators nod, but others lean forward. Some turn to whisper. There's a shift in the air. A second pod glides forward. Mon Mothma, stern, prepared. She holds up a small black device.
Then perhaps the Chancellor would be willing to explain this.
She inserts it into the central holoprojector socket. At first, there's static. Then a projection bursts to life. Grainy holographic
footage, partially distorted by encryption. A robed figure, a voice digitally obscured.
The war must persist. The Jedi will not suspect. Send the next fleet to Arcadia. Dooku is to be eliminated. Accelerate the clone protocols. The Jedi Purge is to begin on my command.
The room falls to silence. The voice is then decrypted, biometrically confirmed. The Jedi Purge is to begin on my command. The voice becomes Palpatine's. Real, unmistakable, cold. The chamber explodes into sound. Senators stand, shout, panic. Order! Order! Palpatine's smile falters, just slightly. He raises a hand. I recognize these accusations for what they are. A fabrication, an insurgent conspiracy, a third path ploy. The war has made traitors of many, but let us not. Then his eyes narrow. He stops. Across the rotunda, on the open edge of a platform, Anakin Skywalker steps forward, lightsaber in his belt, robes dark, silent. Beside him stands Qui-Gon Jinn, and across from them, from a separate pod, rising higher than the others, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Then, Dooku's voice floods the chamber, not from the floor, but from every speaker in the hall.
You've ruled behind a mask long enough, Darth Sidious.
Palpatine's hands tremble. For a moment, he weighs retreat. Then, he smiles. So be it. His dais begins to descend, down beneath the rotunda, into the hidden sanctum below the Senate floor. The light from above vanishes, with cries of senators calling for his arrest. The circular slab locks into the floor, a vast black chamber, Palpatine's private command office. The walls are polished obsidian. The communications array hums with unreadable data. Palpatine steps off the dais. His smile is gone now, his jaw clenched tight beneath flickering light. Behind him, the vault doors slam shut. Before he has a chance to compose himself, Dooku emerges from the shadows, clad in deep gray, hands behind his back, calm, flanked by two robed agents and a pair of third-path commandos in the red armor of his private security.
Welcome home, Chief. No, don't start with that name. It's been dead longer than most of your credibility.
He turns, pacing dramatically, cloak sweeping behind him.
Did you really think this ends in a trial? In rules, in order? I created the game, old friend, and I do not lose at my own table.
He stops, whirls on Dooku.
You smug, sanctimonious relic. You were meant to be my sword, my blade in the dark. And instead you became a librarian of bodyguards.
Anakin and Qui-Gon drop from the access lift.
And you?
He points a finger at Anakin like a disappointed headmaster. Anakin flinches slightly.
I gave you everything. A galaxy of war to shape you, a mentor to tame you. Loss, fire, glory, and you still refuse to grow into the man you're meant to be. Jedi sentimentality. It always ruins the best specimens.
Anakin steps forward, lightsaber igniting. It's over.
Oh, my dear boy, this is where it begins.
Palpatine extends his hand. The door locks. The lights drop. From the desk's base, a circular platform rises. Lightsabers gleaming in containment racks. The secret weapon cache. Palpatine extends his hand, and his lightsaber, silver gold and cruelly carved, rockets into it. He ignites it, blood red, followed by half a dozen more, all igniting around him, hovering as they activate. He lunges. Dooku intercepts. For the first time in years, his blade snapping on with a hiss. White versus red. A duel not of betrayal, but closure. The third path agents raise their blasters but dare not fire into the mess of figures. Anakin rushes wide, cutting off Palpatine's escape route. The additional blades giving more to contend with than just the Sith. Qui-Gon circles like a wolf. No hatred, just resolve. Palpatine fights like a storm contained, blades whipping with speed unnaturally for a Sith, his power cracking the floor with each blow. He throws Dooku back with a blast of Force lightning, catches Anakin's blade mid-strike, and twists him into the wall. Dooku recovers, signaling his entourage. Now, from the shadows, Third Path agents override the Chamber's command systems, activating the holo recorders. The fight is now being streamed to the Jedi Temple, to the Senate above, to command ships across the galaxy. Everyone sees Sidious. Everyone sees the truth. Palpatine howls.
You ungrateful traitors. Do you think that they will thank you for this? When the Separatists rise again, when the Outer Rim fractures into chaos, when your Republic tears itself apart, and all that remains is darkness.
He swings wildly, drives Dooku back, only to have his saber caught between Anakin and Qui-Gon. They clash with floating blades, clipping the hilts before they rock towards the Sith. They stand together.
You wanted a weapon. He chose to be something else.
Together, they strike, slicing his waist, slashing his thigh. He falls. His saber clatters. His robe smolders. He collapses onto the base of his desk, eyes blazing, not in fear, but hatred denied its finale.
Fools, all of you. Execute Order 6.
Qui-Gon's fist cracks the Chancellor across the face, knocking him unconscious. Dooku and Anakin both staring at him in surprise.
The Force compelled me to do that.
The broadcast continues as Dooku addresses the galaxy, and countless clones within earshot throw away their comlinks.
Darth Sidious, known to the galaxy as Chancellor Palpatine, has fallen. His war ends with him. The Jedi will no longer serve a Senate built on lies. The galaxy must choose a new path. Together.
He lifts his saber, then lowers it. Palpatine is arrested, not martyred, not banished, exposed, and the galaxy gasps. The war ends not with a grand battle, but with a broadcast. Across the galaxy, senators, soldiers, civilians, and Jedi watch as Chancellor Palpatine is dragged into the light, his secrets laid bare, his empire unborn. The clone armies, confused and untriggered, stand down. The Jedi, fractured but not extinct, begin to pull back from the edge. None can deny what they saw. Sidious is real, and he wore a human face. The Republic stumbles. It does not collapse, but it sheds its skin. Emergency powers are repealed. The military scaled back. New senators rise. Others vanish. In the shadows of these reforms, a new alliance begins to stir. One born not of war, but of principle. Quiet, careful, rooted in the truth that power must not be trusted with those who seek it most. Count Dooku does not return to the Order. He becomes something else. A warning, a teacher to the forgotten and the exiled. Qui-Gon Jinn steps away from the temple, but not the light. He rebuilds, slowly, patiently. A new generation, a new way to listen. And Anakin Skywalker, he walks between them. Not a Jedi, not a soldier, not a savior, but something rarer. A young man still learning, still burning, still searching for balance. Not in prophecy, but in himself. And for the first time in a generation, the Force is quiet. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you'd like to join us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.
Welcome to Sacred Cow Shipyards, where no ship is safe from being taken down to its nuts and bolts. Nope, I won't do it. You can't make me. What do you mean you can make me? Wait, I have a contract? Let me see that. Yeah. Oh, shit. You can make me. Well, you too and that weird 8-legged thing you rode in on. God damn it. Fine. If I have to do this, I'm going to do it my way. Now, off. Alright, this episode is... Sorry. I just threw up in my mouth a little. This episode's going to be a little, unpleasant for all of us. But we're going to start it a little differently, just for the sake of having some fun along the way, I guess. Maybe, possibly, who knows, we'll see. Anyways, in Earth, Terran, terrestrial history, during one of those many big war things that you squishy humans keep getting into over and over again, one of the people trying to kill the other people were trying to bomb some place across an ocean or something somewhere. I don't know. Really not important to me. The important part is that the end product of this general purpose mishigas that y'all just cannot get rid of is something called the B-17 Flying Fortress. Again, if y'all aren't a military geek like me, because, I have to keep up with this stuff, because who knows what's going to show up on my docks, that is one of the most famous bombers in human terrestrial Earth-type history up until this point. Mostly because it was a goddamn tank. And yes, it was a flying tank. In fact, it was a flying fortress. So that's why they named it that, wasn't it? Right. Okay, anyways, the aircraft of this type were responsible for dropping literally over half the bombs that one of those people in that war dropped on those other people in that war. Just one class, and they fielded a whole lot of other different bombers along the way. I mean, this is just one item, and they had a lot of other bombers, and still, this one accounted for over half the bombs. And on top of that, it didn't just have bombs. This thing had 13 guns on it. 13! It's a bomber. It's supposed to let go of large metal cylinders that are filled with explosives that fall by way of gravity hopefully on top of the intended targets. And on top of that, it had 13 guns. Okay. And apparently it was just obscenely durable. There are stories of it coming back without tails, without significant segments of its wings, without engines, without whole chunks of it. In fact, there is a story of one of these coming back without a crew. Apparently it landed and stopped without a single person on board. Now, that warms the cockles of my, whatever passes for my heart, but still, that's kind of a beefy little chunky monster of an aircraft. In fact, what are they called? City, state, district, nation, country, that thing. In fact, the country that was trying to keep the B-17 from dropping its so primitive bombs on it actually had to develop some purpose-built aircraft to try and bring these stupid things down. They had to specifically design deliberate things that only existed to knock B-17s out of the sky. And even then, they were only middlingly successful. In fact, the concept...
Alright. We made it to Hargan City. Prince, let's try asking around town. Okay. The Zoids Institute here is awfully suspicious. It seems like the Zoids Institute here has a basement floor. Well, in the meantime, we can still look around here too. I guess I'll buy one of these too. Not bad. Well, that's interesting. So it's basically a wild weasel unit. Except it can be mounted on top too. Look at that. It even seems to have that can be interpreted as a base for mounting smoke dischargers, like on the HMM model. That's actually pretty cool. I wonder if that can actually be done. If it, I don't think there's like any way to um, modify the Wild Weasel unit to do that though. But hey, who knows? Well, maybe I'm wrong. But, I'd actually have to find enough pictures. Oh, well, no. I mean, if that part could be removed, yeah, you could possibly mount it. Unfortunately, that's not how it's designed, but it actually is mostly symmetrical. So you could actually do that. I mean, if not for that last part, anyways. Unfortunately, it lacks the capability of doing that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It actually doesn't look too bad with the attack unit either. Yeah, that would have been useful. Too bad I didn't save my money. Laser spread. Composite sensor. Well, that's interesting. So it's an ion unit, and it allows you to be able to heal up. That's not bad. That could actually be useful. Too bad I have to make a lot more money. I just want to see. I mean, it might not be Arcadia Village. I wonder where that is. That's Legacy, though. You fucking moron. Wow, so. Let's see where I am. kind of getting a little bit tired not knowing where it is. Reinforcement, EPA spinner, junk parts, desperate defense order, heart's eye, request of wheat, junk part 2, thick fog warning, growing guarantee. Okay, so it looks like it's not going to be until around Guardian Force. So we're still a long way. That somehow doesn't surprise me. I have a long way to go. Well, that sounding sucks. So it looks like I have 3 other parts of the game to go through before I get supplier. And this is where I'm at right now. Okay, makes sense. It's gonna be well. We've been seeing a lot of Sir Frozen recently. Oh no. Well, this is Imperial Town. Glory to the Empire. That's nothing really worth. No, that's not what I want you to do. Man. Okay, so there doesn't seem to be anything in here worth getting. The Galil runes have been getting ransacked recently. As that happens. I've been feeling uneasy lately. I wonder if a war might break out soon. Might as well heal up for now. For now, I don't have enough money to make it worthwhile. The basement is strictly off limits. At night, when I'm sleeping, I can hear a scary voice. Mama says it comes from the Zoids Institute. So the Zoids Institute, huh? Seems like it'd be worth checking it out. I mean, we already did. You and what army? We don't know if Flame has anything to do with it, but there aren't many proper facilities in the area. I need to get water. I'm thirsty. It wouldn't be surprising if they were using this one to revive the Death Sword. Here, right in the smack dab of I don't know if it's a town or city. I mean, it's not exactly a small town, though. It's not like it's a village. This is the home turf for Prosen, the top advisor for the Imperial Army. No doubt the Institute here supports the Empire. We'll have to force our way in. That's too reckless. True, and like I said, you and what army? And they create an international incident. Prosen would definitely use that as an excuse to declare war on the Republic if he hasn't already. First shots have already been fired. I mean, he's just looking for a way to start a war at this point. This is Imperial territory. The Imperial Army won't just stand by and let us do this. She's also right. Don't get us wrong. Our team's pretty powerful, but it's one thing to fight wild Zoids, but fighting piloted Zoids, piloted by actually trained soldiers, is a whole nother thing. It'll take some time before the Imperial forces can get here. True, but you'll never be able to return. If we are in and out by then we're in the clear. I like it. Of course Earth would say that. Let's go with this plan. Earth? Isn't it best to go with the simplest plan? Well, yes and no. Ha! Who'd have thought we'd be on the same page for once? Purely coincidence. Don't read into it. There'll be a lot of security to get past. Well, yes and no. I mean, it was just a lab coat. We could just taser him and sneak our way in. We don't have any other option. I don't like it, but it looks to be the case. Alright, that's the plan we're going with then. Prince? It's settled. What'll you do, Regina? Wait here by yourself? Hey, the prince says we're going, so I'm going too. Alright then. Once you're ready, come talk to me. Using a smaller Zoid is still going to be better, though. How does a nice glass of milk sound? 4,500. The cost of living is too high recently. Prophetic. That's what I'm going to be doing soon. I think I'm going to be sleeping. Once I'm done with whatever happens in this part of the story, I'm going to be going to bed. I have to admit, Ramos does look good with a Gatling gun. I still don't expect to have to worry about facing anything too major. I guess I might as well buy some weapons from here. I doubt I'll be able to return anytime soon. After having the audacity to... Okay, well, maybe not. It probably wouldn't also hurt to, Nice. All too easy. Who are you guys? Keep quiet. I would say, hey, we're the one asking questions around here. Stay right where you are, and we won't have any trouble. Yes, okay. Please answer our questions. What are you researching in this place? Fess up if you know what's good for you. This guy is as dangerous as he looks. She's right. I'm a bad guy. Talk! The ancient ruins. Ancient ruins? You mean the Galil ruins? That's right. We've been experimenting with reviving a Zoid core that was found there. I only help with the genetic engineering. You mean to say the Zoid has already been built? I see. Where is it right now? I came rushing back after hearing that it had run rampant. But that's all I know. I swear! This is bad. Ah! Sir Prosit is going to kill me! So it's somewhere in this facility, huh? We have to hurry and find it. Well, that shouldn't take... Okay, well, if they already built it, then, fuck. I mean, well, yes and no. Actually, I'm going to look at Black Rooms. Did I give him an EMP rifle? Being able to disable it might still be my best bet. I mean, this is more for saturation than for anything else. Running rampant. Well, that's what you get for messing with a Zoid core you understand very little about. Are you thieves? Bandits? Says the one stealing a Zoid core from ancient ruins. No matter. You've come all this way. I can't have you leaving so soon. Make yourselves comfortable. You! Who are you? You don't know me? Nope. Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Gunther Prosen. Prosen? The next emperor of the Gylos Empire. Ugh, this guy's bad news. Is Flam not a part of this? You're the one trying to revive the Death Sword. Ah, and how would you know that? I mean, it's obvious. You have a giant rampaging dinosaur, and you're in the same area. that I... No matter. You will be the perfect test for my new creation. New creation? A Death Star prototype? Excuse my rudeness, but I'll be making my exit now. After all, I have a coronation to attend at the capital. Like we'd ever let that happen! Feel the power of the bloody demon, you pathetic, worthless insects. I have... I just need to find out where it is. Yeah, I'll start for this one for now.
Weight loss starts with a game plan. Meet Wegovy Pill, the #1 prescribed...
You're not music. Prince! Right, everyone, prepare for battle. Yeah, that's not what we're looking for. Everyone, be careful. Wait, why is Prince in the front? Why is he in the front? Wait! Can't have you forgetting about me. Van! What is that, Zoid Van? It's my new partner, the Blade Liger. The Shield Liger is now the Blade Liger, thanks to Zeke and Fiona, right, Van? Right, I have them to thank. Okay, let's go, Blade Liger! Let's show them our power! I'm actually tempted to get a second Saber Tiger, but oh well. Alright. I think our team is about as good as it's gonna get. I guess No, I'm not gonna underestimate this way. Let's go all in. Let's use a Red Horn as well. I admit that not having the EM cannon... Actually, let's try it. I might have made a mistake there. Well, I'm about to find out. Let's see if I can get some data. I admit that I'm taking a bit of a risk here, but it can't be too much more difficult to take out than... If this turns into a multi-turn battle, then I'll deploy the shield. Oh, I forgot to deploy the Organon too. I'm not too worried about though. Not bad. We're causing some massive damage. And for icing on the cake. I actually like this better. Where they didn't build a straight Death Sword. just yet. I bet I can disable it too. Damn. Well, so much for that idea. Maybe I should have gone with the red horn after all. Oh wait, we also have an organ. But I'm not going to actually do that just yet. I wish they animated the fins though, like they did with the shoe leather. Even so, the Blade Demon is infinitely less powerful than the Death Sword. It makes sense they would have a far easier time creating a Blade Demon than it would be a Death Sword. He's probably going to be very, very disappointed when he finds out that it's not very effective. I mean, all it's doing is just spewing these flames. A second one? Well, so much for disabling it. Not bad. That armor is actually holding up pretty nicely. All things considered. Ha! He got hit by it. They're really going after it. Yeah, I definitely want to put on some music. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to get a jump cord, but I think it's still worth attempting to do. I don't think this guy's going to be around for much longer. He's taking a lot of damage. And that's it. Only emergency that we're having is his defective Death Sword going down. But I didn't get a core. Boo! I guess that would have been too powerful at this stage in the game. But come on. We did it. Did we really? Did we really stop the Death Sword's revival? No, of course not. It's just a Blade Demon. That's not the actual Zoid. They're using a Genosaurus core. So you won. Well, it was a prototype after all. Flam! Finally we found her. So this is the woman you were looking for. I see more meddling rats have joined the party. So you are involved in this after all. Involved? I was merely observing. Biding your time so you can steal Zoidia, right? I've got a bad feeling. No point in going back empty-handed. Wouldn't it be nice to take that organoid of yours with me? Hand over the organoid. Quietly. Do that, and I'll let everyone except Earth go. Don't make me laugh. Zika's my partner. I would never hand him over to you or anybody. Well then, you leave me with no choice. I'll just have to take it with brute force. Open your eyes, Flam. You're being used by the Emperor. Can't you see that? Silence, Earth. I won't hear a word from someone like you who did nothing but look down on others. What in the... I'll settle this right here, once and for all. Looks like we'll have to fight. Urgh! Flam, you fool! Here she comes. Everyone, prepare for battle. Not that it's going to be much of a battle. One measly red draw. This isn't going to be a battle. It's going to be a slaughter. I will admit that she is capable of dodging my attacks. And it's game set. Bye-bye. Seems like we won.
Don't forget to empty the dishwasher before you go to sleep. You've taken a nice 3.5-hour do nothing break. Thank you.
You know what?
3.5 hours.
You can take your condescending attitude and you can flip it.
It better be done. 3.5 hours now, no one bothered you. You've done nothing today. Zero.
Don't
nothing.
you go off on a tangent with me.
If the dishwasher isn't done, there will be consequences that you will not
I'll
believe.
do the dishwasher.
There will be consequences.
But if you
will not
continue to
believe.
threaten me,
There are consequences.
and there will be consequences with those consequences.
Every time
so don't start a war.
There is nothing you can do to me. Nothing. I could cut this off. I can take your car back, and I'm gonna do it. I'm sick of this.
Sick of what?
I asked him I need the dishwasher. He refuses.
No, I didn't say refuse to. I said you can take your attitude and you can shove it up your ass.
What is going on?
He's just in one of his fucking moves. That's what.
What is going on?
He's in one of his holier than thou moods. That's
I
what.
asked you what's going on. Did he ask you to empty the dishwasher?
He said he left that he'd been on your break for 3.5 hours. So
no,
empty the dishwasher.
That's not what I said. I said you need to empty the dishwasher.
That's not all you. That's part of what you said.
You
ask him a million things nicely, and he does none of them. Ever.
I'm sorry. I'm having a family argument right now. I'm so sorry. You have to listen to this. Right now, my live stream too. You have no respect. This is why I have no respect for you.
What are you talking to?
This internet's going away for him tomorrow morning first thing. No more internet.
There's a friend online. Okay. Then that might end up being the last time I empty the dishwasher. Don't threaten me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I have to apparently empty the dishwasher because apparently it's only I have work tomorrow and it just finished running. And I tried to get all my chores done and no one wants to cooperate. I cannot believe that this happened. Of all times. Of all times this could have happened. I'm not happy with him. Unfortunately, I think that van... Of course you're not going to know every single person I'm talking to. Oh my goodness. He's just determined to make my life miserable. I sometimes do that myself because the dishwasher can't. Well, I guess the dishwasher does get run every day because we have 3 people, and it builds up very quickly. We have one who um, uses honestly more dishes than he should have to. Well, let's just say she's not careful about how many dishes she uses, and it builds up very quickly, even without that. The thing is, I didn't say no. I will do the dishwasher. I just don't appreciate the fact that um, it got finished running now at night. I also don't appreciate the fact he leaves the dishes in the sink. He doesn't even try to help us. I actually might end up having to um, oh, they're gonna try to trap us. Oh, that would suck. Wow, she still cares for him. Oh, it feels like we got back just in time. Wow, that's lucky. Wow, that's lucky. But then how would they know if the gate was becoming unstable? Man, and it's like this blows up at a time when, of course, I'm pursuing the story portion with all the text. I swear, my dad makes it impossible to enjoy anything. It's always finding me something to do. I need to do this and that. Now she's in trouble. I mean, there's nothing she could have done against us. But yeah, not starting time machine was a mess up on her part. Yeah, she's in deep doo-doo.
Did you send that information to the doctor?
Yes. Oh. So I guess he has sympathies for them. Alright, I'm gonna stop here. It was a fun night for the most part, until that whole point. Gosh, he lied about leaving me alone for 3.5 hours. It was more like 2 hours. Alright, but yeah, I don't want anyone else to have to listen about me griping about this. This is supposed to be like a personal problem. I'm just sorry that this blew up in front of you. I really am. I'm sure I can go into explaining it, but it's not really worth it right now. And I'm tired, and I also have to get up relatively early because I have to work tomorrow. So I need to stop. I need to empty the dishwasher. Go to bed. You have a good night.